A continuation of yesterday's theme. Transforming again means undoing by doing the opposite operation. And remember, our goal always is to solve for the variable. And if we are solving for the variable, it means we need to get it by itself with what it equals. So we'll start out nice and simple. What operation do I have in this equation? 6x equals 222. Roland? Good. So remember, push together means multiplication. The opposite of times 6 is divided by 6. 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 1x is what I want to know the answer to. So again, you can think of it as canceling out. I like to cross them out. 222 divided by 6. If you're using your calculator, just check the screen to make sure that you punched in the right numbers. If you type it wrong on your calculator and you get the wrong answer, it's still just a wrong answer. So there's one way, one example, multiplication. Pretty simple. We have done problems like that. So that should not be too difficult, but you will see some that are a little more difficult. For example, with fractions and with negatives. 8 equals negative 2/3 t. So again, this is multiplication so far. What I have is I have negative 2/3 times t. I put the dot in there, but really they're just pushed together, which means multiplication. So for this, again, just like yesterday, I'm going to ask you to make sure to write down the opposite operation that you do on each side, just to make sure that you're not forgetting a step. So if this is being multiplied by negative 2/3, the opposite of that is to divide both sides of the equal sign by negative 2/3. On the right side, 2/3 but divided by 2/3 is 1, and 1t is what I want. So the variable can be on the other side, but we go about solving it the same way. Now, what we need to think about here is what happens when we divide by a fraction. First of all, division is like subtraction. The order matters. You will get the wrong answer if you do it in the wrong order. 8 was there first. 8 stays first. So if you need to write it first as division, this is what it should look like. 8 was already there. We are dividing the 8 by negative 2/3. And that makes a big difference in our answer to get it in the right order. The 8 stays the same, although you could put it 8 over 1 if that would help. Remember that division, we change to multiplication. And we take the second fraction and flip it upside down to its reciprocal. So that's why it's very important that we get these in the right order. Otherwise, if you had the 8 in the second position and you flipped it upside down to 1/8, you get the wrong answer. Now for the negative, it was with the 2, so I kept it with the 2. Remember that you could leave it in the numerator. You can keep it in the denominator. It does not matter. To solve this, a positive times a negative makes a negative. So I'm going to go ahead and get my sign set up first. All right, a positive times a negative. Now I can simplify and not even think about the signs. If I want to simplify first, 2 and 8 both divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 leaves 1. 8 divided by 2 leaves 4. If I multiply what's left, I get 12 over 1, which is just 12, and I already determined it's negative, so negative 12 is my final answer. Any questions on that particular problem? Okay, let's do one more. It's multiplication. 1/4 s. Oops, there it is. 1/4 s equals 6 1/4. So this is very similar to the last one. The only difference is that we have a mixed number. So we're reviewing a lot of fraction information here. 1/4 is being multiplied by s. So I do the opposite. I divide both sides by 1/4. 1/4 divided by 1/4 makes 1, and 1s is what I want. Now the 6 1/4 came first. It stays first. So I just wrote next to it my divided by 1/4. Now, I am going to do the same thing as last time where I changed division to multiplication and I flip the second fraction upside down to its reciprocal. So here the question is, what do I do with 6 and 1/4 if I'm going to multiply fractions? CJ?
You make it an improper fraction.
Good, I turn it into an improper fraction. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. My denominator stays fourths. That doesn't change. And now again, just like before, I can simplify before I multiply. 4 and 4 both divide by 4. And when I divide by 4, I'm left with 1. 25 times 1 is 25. 1 times 1 is 1. 25 over 1 is 25. So practicing that work with fractions, including mixed numbers, practicing again with multiplying with positives and negatives. Now those were all multiplication examples. So I just need to give you a quick example for division. We are going to see both multiplication and division here. Just be aware that with division, it might be the division sign or it might be like this with the fraction bar. We've got m divided by 3. The opposite of divided by 3 is to multiply both sides by 3. So again, this is divided by 3. I do the opposite. Here, 3 divided by 3, again, that's going to be 1, or they cancel out, leaving just the m. On the right side, pretty simple. Negative times positive makes a negative. 5 times 3 is 15. Not too difficult. However, I do want to show you one other possibility that I believe you will see. Let me just double check. I think it's in there. Oh, shoot, where'd it go? Maybe not. I'm looking for a particular problem that I thought was in this lesson. I don't see it. Maybe it's coming up. Okay, I think that's it. If I can find the problem that I was thinking of, I don't think it's in here, it might be in the next lesson, I will do another one on the board for you, but I think that's it for now.